Not much, but here you go.
Thank you.
Of course.
Candy bars?
Hey there.
I love candy
Hi.
bars.
Any word from Glenn?
Nothing. Is he okay?
Yeah. I think
Now you've
so.
got me wondering how Alan
You're doing a
Wake
good
would work
job.
in a game like this, and how much more interesting that could have been.
Get you in the
Oh man, now
that
we're
was-
calling back to
That
that
was just a
season.
thoughtless. That was just, no. It's just a thoughtless
Yeah,
joke.
it
Don't start
wasn't
thinking
much.
about things.
I know.
No, but that is an interesting idea.
What if the zombies were
ideas-
taken?
So,
No, yeah, but what if you
Are
took
you
the
okay?
What?
thrust of
Yeah.
Alan Wake and
I'm
took
fine. I
took
just,
it away from those terrible shooter
good.
mechanics that kept killing the
That's good.
pacing and dragging
Yeah,
down the
I
story
think so.
and sort of
being good is good.
undercutting the
Despite
point
the
that it was making
circumstances.
and sucking all
Yeah.
the
Yep.
tension
Although,
out of it.
here's a question.
These are
Wouldn't
scary unless you shoot them
Wouldn't
with your gun.
creating a game that is very much predicated on choice, wouldn't like the choice game system not work for a game whose whole plot
We
is
have
that
enough
you don't
energy
really ultimately
bars
have a
for
choice?
everyone.
Well, you would have Alan would have to have choices that he could
This
make.
place didn't get looted.
There would need to be choice. So the story would need to be a little different, even if it kind of always converged there at the end. There would
Yeah.
need to be different paths through it, who
Yeah,
you save,
we'll
who
find
you
it some
tell the
stuff to
truth
eat.
about the Taken.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Because
Alright,
this
Carly, you
game
get a
is
candy bar.
great,
She's
but
good.
if you take out
I'm trying to keep
the
her
choices,
fed.
Open it for
This
her.
game is
Open
putting
it or she'll eat
batteries
the
in the
wrapper.
radio.
Thanks.
No, you see, no, the wrapper, that's cellophane. You don't eat that.
Oh, I just realized something. Okay, so can we talk?
You don't
are we
get
gonna
one,
talk about
Larry.
what like the last choice of this game is?
No.
How's it doing?
What? No.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Unless you
No.
mean the
It's
episode.
Lee.
No, the last choice of the
My
episode.
dad's Larry.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I guess we're almost there.
I was just doing what I
Okay,
had
so you're gonna have to
earlier.
choose between
Everyone was.
Carly and
Didn't
another
have to call me
survivor.
a bitch in front of
Like
my
between
people.
Doug, who's the tech
Couldn't
expert.
need that
I
shit.
just realized
I like
the
how.
point of the radio.
What was
thing
that, Rutscar? And you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna half spoil it."
And that violence before
Yeah, I
with
realize
my
there's no
dad.
point to that. Besides, I'm trying to make a point here, which is you have a choice between Carly, who you'll learn is an excellent shot, and Doug,
You're
who
from here.
is
I work at
good
Warner
with
Robins,
technology.
the Air Force
And at first, that doesn't
Yeah,
really
I know
seem
it.
like, and he's good at critical
I've-
thinking. At
No,
first, that doesn't
just
really seem like a
mechanical
balanced
admin
choice.
stuff.
The whole
I
point of
deal
the
with a bunch
radio
of
puzzle
shitheads
is to
and
show that
bureaucrats
Carly
all
is good
day.
at shooting
Sometimes
people,
a plane if I'm lucky.
but she
You?
doesn't know how to
I work
do
up at
anything
UGA.
else.
Anything.
She can't
What's
fix a
wrong?
radio
He's
when
got
the
a
only
heart
problem
condition.
is
He
it doesn't
takes
have the
nitroglycerin
batteries that are
tablets
sitting
pretty
5
regularly.
feet away
I've
from
seen
the
a few bad
radio.
attacks that he couldn't get over and needed
And
to
she
go
makes
to
a
the
big deal
hospital.
about, like,
Yeah,
I
that's
thought about it.
not
I
really
can't
an
figure it
option.
out.
I'm
She
just
tried to
trying to
figure it
keep
out
him
and she
relaxed.
couldn't.
Whereas Doug, on the other hand,
He's got it.
certainly not Doug.
Ah,
Doug, on
fuck
the other
you.
hand, is capable of
Yeah,
assessing
he
his
doesn't
environment,
need
at
it.
least ostensibly, and
It's
making
just
snap
it.
decisions. We hear anecdotal evidence of this, and he's kind of like helping us along with the puzzle,
got
and he
kids
fixes a
here.
remote for us.
Family.
He
You
and
know,
I are
we see
family.
that Doug
I'm
could maybe
just
be
saying
useful
some
later
people
down
can't
the road.
handle a temper like
I
that.
just don't think that one. I think most people are
Seems
just
like
like,
you-
yeah,
It's just
360
his
no
way.
scope.
Don't
Let's
make
go with the
him the reason
gunsmith.
everything's screwed.
Yeah.
But
The
I
other problem,
personally-
which
Where's
we
her
probably
mom?
won't get to this week, is that
Savannah.
when you get to this to the
You guys
choice
aren't
between
together.
them,
Oh,
their
I'm
peril
not
is
dead.
very
I
disparate.
found in a house
Carly is being
Oh,
attacked
man.
by one zombie that has her pant leg, and Doug is being pulled out the window by like 6 of them.
Didn't
It's like,
And
what?
it's not even immediately clear that Carly is out of ammo.
Yeah.
She was home with a sitter. It wasn't good.
Well, she's lucky to have you.
Was
And it's
anyone
telling that
guys
still
believe-
most people
No, this
decided to
case is
help
pretty
Carly, despite it not appearing that she
yeah.
was in any serious danger.
75% of
Are
the
you
people
okay?
went with Carly, and I went with Doug, and it wasn't even
Did
that
you
tough
know
of a
anybody
decision.
here?
I got to go with the smart,
They always say,
amicable person,
we
the
were
person
close.
easy to get along
I'm
with,
sorry.
bright,
We
eager
found
to
an older
help,
couple in the office.
and can
Dad
seem to
helped them
handle
out in
himself
case
even
they
if he's
weren't
not a crack
really
shot. He
dead.
might be a crack shot. I don't know. After Carly's dead, maybe I'll give him
Think
this
about all
pistol, and we'll
this.
find out
What
how
is
good
there
he
to
is.
think? The dead are up, walking around.
He's just like,
eating.
okay, so the
Turning
bullets
them
go
into
in,
more of them.
shit, the gun
Jesus.
He's
We
putting
need
them
to
in the
stick
front,
together and get through this.
putting them down the
is
barrel.
one at a time.
Yes.
Trigger does. He squeezes the trigger, and doesn't work. He's like, oh no, I remember how you do this, and then he like starts blowing into it like an NES cartridge.
So here we go. Probably the most powerful scene of this entire episode.
Didn't we say that about Clementine's parents?
Shut up,
The
you.
the episode, not the game.
The game's
It's
so
hard because there's the
Epic game.
entire game, which is all 5 episodes. Then there's individual episodes, and then there's spoiler warning episodes within those episodes. So
Also,
trying to define the
this
most
debuts my favorite track from this entire soundtrack.
To survive, but it looks like one of them.
soundtrack of this game is pretty good. By the way.
Yeah.
It's
good
really
ramping up
ambient.
tension.
It never makes itself known, but it's
Right.
very good.
it does its job. It turns on the tearjerker music at the right moment, and it turns on the ominous stuff at the right moment, and it all works really well.
I actually want to know how much of this music is shared with the TV show, if any, or if there's
None
any,
of it,
like,
as far as I
recurring
can
themes
tell.
or notes. Okay, that's an interesting.
Find
That's
anything?
actually a very bold choice. That's interesting.
Well, this
I mean,
is
obviously,
ostensibly
yeah.
more based on the comics than the TV show. It has nothing
Well,
to do with the TV show.
yeah. On the one hand, yes, but on the other hand,
Might help us
like,
track down the
I
keys
bet
to
they
the
still got
others.
emails like, "Why
I know
doesn't
who
this
you are.
have anything to do with the TV show?"
You're Lee Everett. You're a professor at Athens
Because that's
who
the
killed a state
visible
senator who was sleeping
association.
with your
It's
wife.
kind of like how
This
even
is your
like if
parents'
somebody
store.
makes something
Folks
based
around
on
town
like
know
the
the owner's
Spider-Man
son got
comics
himself
for
a
like a
life
video
sentence,
game or
but I'm a
something,
reporter
they have to
for
reference the
WABE
Spider-Man
in
movies
Atlanta.
too.
I paid attention to that.
Well, I
job.
mean, like,
Maybe
you
you're
do
more,
realize they're
but I
making
don't
an
really
AMC
care.
The Walking Dead
Frankly, that's a
video
skill that
game
might come in
starring
handy.
Daryl.
I know.
Did you tell anyone
I'm not
out there
gonna
who
play
you were,
that
or that you were
game.
tied to this place?
It's gonna be a shooter where you're Daryl and you shoot things.
No.
I think it's interesting that my favorite zombie-based game is
Well,
one where you
good.
don't spend most
You
of the
seem
game
like an okay
shooting
guy,
zombies.
and the last thing we need
This is
drama
an
out
amazing
there.
thing.
You've got this
This
little
is
girl
right
to
up
take
there
care
with
of.
Left 4 Dead as
Look,
far as how much I
don't make
like
me
this
wrong on
game.
this.
Yeah. Can I just say something about
planned.
zombies?
Good.
Which
Because if
is,
this
you know,
lasts
everybody's talking
longer
about how
than 3
zombies
days,
are played
then you're a
out
detriment
and
to the group,
everything.
and we'd have a
Here's the
problem.
thing: zombies cannot support
keep it to
anything
myself.
on the basis of lol zombies. You can't. Nobody like. You know, something is not interesting just because it contains zombies.
Don't worry about
But
it.
one of the reasons zombies work so well for a lot of games and movies and stuff, and are potentially a very useful narrative like element, is that they don't require explanation. You don't need to spend like an
Right.
hour talking about these are the Klendraki. They invaded our planet from these portals. They're insectile creatures. Like, you don't need to have episodes detailing how they work and what they're about.
Luckily, there's
Zombies,
nothing
you know, with a few variables aside, zombies are a force that you can use to create like a certain kind of tension and drama. And from there, what you do
Everyone
is
out
up
there
to
seem
you.
all
And you
right
can
to
focus on, like,
Yeah.
you know, characters. You
Well,
could focus
maybe not
on
the sick guy.
anything
Yeah.
else.
We'll keep an eye on it.
There
And
was
it's
that thing
also
in the
worth
bathroom.
pointing out
He
that
tried to get me.
there are games
But
that
you
use
stopped
zombies
it.
that are very
Yeah,
good,
I did.
and then there are games that have
Can you do
zombies
that
and violence
more?
and nothing else.
Well, I'm not gonna go looking for.
I mean,
Like,
it's
it's
the dangerous
every
ones.
like Dead Island, for example. Dead
Good.
Island didn't have a lot going besides it's it's
you
a
heard from
shooter
Brad?
with zombies.
Not
in
in a
it.
little while.
There's nothing really like other that would be
I'm gonna
new.
keep
It
Other
wasn't a shooter.
That-
It was a beater.
Actually,
it was a
beater, yeah.
But that brings up a really good point because this is the video game that damn commercial promised.
Yes.
This is the game that commercial promised and then utterly failed in every way possible to deliver.
What's that?
Yeah, people were flipping their shit about the Dead Island trailer, not just
This
because
is
it was
my dad's
good,
game.
because I
Ends
mean,
up
you know,
around here
a
all
good
the time.
trailer isn't
Was
a
he
really
sick?
huge newsworthy
He was
item.
okay.
It was because it was a
Actually, some whoop
good, deep,
shoplifters
meaningful
with it.
trailer about a
Those
zombie
gangs
game. We're
protected
like,
this
oh
place better
man,
than any guard
finally!
dog ever
Like all the
could.
comments
Characters we
threads were
can
like,
care about.
finally.
Look at these people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's about
My
these
dad
human
gave it to
beings
me.
and how they relate to one another and how they feel
Whereas-
about one another. And
Dead
not about,
Island
hey, you
started
have a shotgun.
getting drunk, and
Ugh.
I don't
Dead
even-
Island was
Well,
just
a
a
clear path
shitty
to open
Left
that
4
door.
Dead.
Yes, it was a
Better get
terrible
this
Left 4
door
Dead, but without
Can
the
I help?
guns or the great sort of Valve cutscenes to bookend the whole
Here
thing,
we
and
go.
without the
Watch
tightly
your fingers in the drawers.
constructed gameplay, and without the great atmospheric graphics. It was a cheap thing, a cheap world made out of plastic,
And-
about plastic people.
Yeah.
And
it's
here
not
we
that
have
heavy.
another
How
interesting
about
conversation
everything
that takes place while you're
It's
doing
not good.
other important
No,
stuff.
it's not.
But I
This
think
is how
it'll be
people talk
okay.
in real life, and it's surprising that so
Okay,
few video
here we
games
go.
have ever managed to do it properly.
And for games always trying to be movies, they're always trying to be movies, but then when it's time
you
for
have
talking,
kids?
they're shot like the Phantom Menace, where it's
You
like,
don't have
oh, we're gonna have a
Yeah.
conversation, so bring all the action to a screeching halt and have us stand here and face each other and talk in shot reverse shot,
Parents.
as opposed to
My mom is a doctor.
getting
and
on
my
with
dad
things
is an
and
engineer.
doing interesting
Those are
things
good
while we have
jobs.
this conversation.
What's your job?
And then have those two
I,
things be
teach
related,
history and writing
even
and
better.
Things like that.
Like, social studies?
Yeah, like that.
And so games want to be
You didn't
movies
answer
so
my
bad,
question.
but they're so bad at being
All right,
movies.
a
But
little
this
further.
game is actually doing that.
Sorry, so a minute ago when like Lee talks about his history and Clementine was like, "You mean social studies?" That
Why
rang
don't
true
you
for
wanna
me
talk
because
about your
like
family?
that's what they call
Yep.
it in
They, like,
kindergarten.
hate you?
It's just
Yep.
social studies.
I thought
Yeah.
that was a wonderful touch and something and a writer could easily get wrong. They would just say, oh, history or
Because of
whatever. But
death.
at her age, it's called social studies. At least in
And it
this country.
sucks.
And it
No.
sucks because it is the
I'm just
most
sorry for
watered
being mean.
down, uninformative,
Family's gone
uninteresting.
and I
It's
just
like
wish things
all
would
of
have been
history reduced to names
Yeah.
and dates with no context and no reason to give a shit about anything that happens.
Oh
Not
man,
even if it's your own
you got
history.
all of history.
And what
We
happened?
got North Carolina
Ended
history,
really badly.
and then the next
Oh.
year
After that, I
U.S.
wasn't allowed
history.
to talk to my family.
Oh, ours was very
So
focused on
sad.
American history. Except the Indian Wars were kind of not talked about a lot. Or
Oh yeah, Andrew Jackson was the best president ever, huh?
Are you okay?
Andrew
I hurt
Jackson
my
was an
finger.
uncontroversial man who didn't do anything
A
wrong.
little.
by Indian Wars, I of course just mean the
I'll find you back.
the terrible murder that was perpetuated.
Yes. For those
God,
of you
just-
who
just-
don't
was
know
the-
it, for foreigners or people who don't know about social studies, who
remote
didn't
to my
pay
dad's
attention in
TV.
social studies, or who paid too much attention to social studies rather, America's history.
You know,
sucks.
Clementine. It's cool that we need to get you abandoned and whatever. Let's watch TV.
Just compare this
That's
to
what I
Dishonored and the way that you had to deal with Emily. Like, you never took care of
Yeah.
Yeah,
What if my
here you are
parents come
taking
home
care of
and I'm not there?
Clementine. Doing something for her. I wonder if you can leave her
So,
finger not
do we want to
bandaged
kind
up.
of? This is kind of an important decision that will affect how the dialogue goes for the rest of
I
the game,
asked
which
you
is
a
whether
question.
you kind of lead on to the fact that Clementine's parents are probably dead, or you placate her and let her
Oh,
go.
I always
What do we wanna
struggled with this
do?
decision. I always struggled.
This is the hardest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't know which one. The game doesn't make a big deal of this decision, but it's something I always struggled with. You know from that answering machine that her parents are dead, for sure.
Yeah.
The-
Yeah, definitely.
They were screwed. They were in
And-
a hospital
and
during
again,
the
this
zombie
is-
apocalypse.
Look at how this is one of the biggest choices in the game is how you deal with this, and this is a totally complete role-playing choice. It has no gameplay impact. All it is entirely based upon how much you actually care about the character.
I was honest here, but I actually found myself growing less honest as the game continued. Like,
Yeah.
cause like it doesn't really take if you say I don't think they will. Like it's
Yeah,
kind of
she doesn't want to
ameliorated
believe
and
it, so she keeps bringing it
Right.
up.
So what do you guys
Which is
think?
say I don't think they will. Try and go honest
Yeah.
and see how that goes.
I don't think they will.
I
don't
tried to be
think they'll
generally
find
honest
us
with
unless we-
Clementine.
We'll find them.
I don't think they'll find
I
us
thought
unless
my
we let them get the
walkie-talkie
drop
in
on
case
us.
They try that way.
Stay close to me until then, okay?
There's actually I forget if the moment has already passed, but there's one moment where you could pick like sort of like a really brutally honest option, and Lee will actually
Let's have a look at that.
soften that.
Yeah, there's just several
Sure,
points
Let's
like
see if we can
already
do
through this
something about it.
this play session where I've tried to
Let's
say
get this guy
something
covered up.
and
Yes,
Lee
please.
chickens out. Like when I tried to say that Lee killed someone to Clementine, like
Yeah,
he,
that's
he
it,
starts
yeah.
to say it, and then he
I got to
he goes into I got into a fight.
That's the door to the pharmacy. We should be able to find pills for Larry in there.
I never ran into those. I have to say I would
Keys
find
are
that
on
frustrating.
zombie out on the street.
I see. You don't find it frustrating because it's clear that Lee. It's not like just like Mass Effect where you're like, I don't work with the elusive man, and you're like, I'm only working for the elusive man for a little while. You can actually see him choking on it. Like you say, I killed a man.
It's
Lee's
okay.
like,
Thanks for fixing it.
He decides to say the right
yeah.
thing, but he can't bring himself to do it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got
It's It's a struggle against the character, not the writers, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Head back
and like
into
you
the
know,
dirt
because
store with me?
that's where like
Okay.
the Lee's somewhat established part comes in.
Yeah.
It never
You're
pretends
not
that like
bad,
you have
right?
Lee is whoever you imagine he
asking you
is,
that?
like Mass Effect
That lady
sometimes
said
does.
you killed someone. Was that because he was
Man,
one of the
weird.
things
See, and then there's
going
this
down?
where it's
you
implied
fuck
she
up on
figured it
Mass
out.
Effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
Oh,
That's also a really
Was
important
he
decision.
bad?
Where you have to say, was he
He
bad?
was.
Was he bad?
I was
Oh,
honest
yeah.
with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you killed a senator because he was sleeping with your
A state senator, not a U.S.
yeah.
senator, but still.
wife. Yeah, so that's not even really illegal in some states.
Yeah, serious. Those are like barely
I-
people.
But now.
I think
You,
I
you
think
can
you
get a hunting
one.
license for that. It's 1 a year.
We're terrible.
I got kind of a scrawny
How we
one.
doing?
They say he might be
Wanna go
under the
have a
one.
look around outside?
That's rare to find a
Let's have look
scrawny
around.
one.
Okay.
Oh, politics.
That guy over there has the keys.
How can you be sure?
I found
Do
this
we have
in
what
the
is necessary to
office.
do
That boy
this?
in the photo worked here. The keys being
Yes,
on him.
yes,
You
I
got
have
the
the,
remote
control?
remote control.
Yeah, I agree. Just need to figure out how to.
I gotta say, another good thing about this game,
You wouldn't need long, right?
the loading screens are what,
Just a few
1
seconds.
second?
Yeah.
Really
Is
short.
another
Even with
advantage-
all of our
Yeah.
recording stuff running.
To be fair, the
And
text is
look
pretty
at-
low res.
Right, but that's
For
the
the most
point.
part,
By aiming for this particular art style, they made these wonderful facial expressions. Look at how many characters we can have on screen without blowing anybody's polygon budget. The loading screens are super short.
Program it to work with those.
And
TVs
all
across
of
the
that,
street.
and all we had to do was back away from photorealism of
And-
steps.
You can just do that.
And like we're understating it. There is an iPhone version of this, or at least an iPad version of this game, that apparently looks just as good and runs just as well.
Well fucking done, Doug.
Ever
be
try to
fair,
play
I had
iPad
the,
first-person
Save a
shooter?
life.
They suck and they crash.
He hasn't.
I played the game on the 360, and the Telltale engine is not as adapted to that hardware as it is to the.
Oh well,
Oh.
okay. The engine runs well, but it tends to just break random. Like this game had so many save game problems at the beginning.
Did it?
I was
I
lucky
never had
that
any
I
trouble.
never. Yeah, I never had
Yeah.
any trouble with it, but my brother did.
About that.
You've got the combo, right?
Where he imported his save into episode 2, and all his choices were wrong. Like he saved Doug instead of Carly, and Carly was alive, and Doug was dead, and it was weird.
We're also party to some egregious fire code violations.
Huh.
I can't reach that brick.
I like that
What
joke.
was?
Fire code violation. That
Let
probably
me
gets
use
in
the
skin.
remote on the lock.
Won't work.
I was kidding.
What do you have to do to
What?
get the lock off?
Okay.
I know, Doug.
Yeah, they definitely stopped with that crap.
Also,
It's doing what
so you can't get that brick because you need to open the door first. Does it not just
Right.
look like you could reach out there and grab that brick?
It does. It does. It totally
I wanted to.
Oh, that's
I
right,
actually-
the back door.
If we're gonna help.
I actually really just wanted to go get the cane and like hook it over.
Yeah.
I think we can go out the back door. Let's try that.
You need a fire axe at some
Let's
point.
head back inside.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. Where? I thought I saw the fire axe. Where was it?
We're coming up on 20, so find a good place to stop.
Hey there.
Oh.
This is Glenn, and I'm kinda in a jam here. Little
Yeah, I
girl,
really wish
There's
I
the
had load
fire
times like that.
axe.
Can you put your daddy on the phone? Or on the talkie or whatever?
This is Lee. What's up?
So, I'm down at that motor inn, and, well, I'm stuck.
Stuck.
Yeah, I saw a chance to get some supplies for the group, and a bunch of the Roman ones got the jump on me. I'm hiding over here, but they won't leave.
What's
By
up?
get some
Glenn's
supplies,
trapped
he
down at the
means
motor
raid
inn.
the condom
Hey,
machine.
Glenn. We're gonna talk it over and send the group to come get you, all right?
Never have too many.
I'll sit tight till then.
Oh
Sounds
man,
good.
mini bar score.
Hold on to this until we get Glenn back, okay?
Oh, motherfucker.
I think Doug's not great on zombies.
That's
You
annoying.
got your family
Occasionally I'll
here.
click off the
I'll
screen
take
by
Carly
accident
or
because
Deadeye
the
down
mouse
to the
isn't
motor and
onto the
get
screen
Glenn
and it'll
get back here
alt-tab
as
and
fast
kill
as
the
we can.
fraps recording.
That's what you want to do. Somebody's got to.
Yeah, I'm in.
Good. Doesn't sound too bad there right now.
Let me know as soon as you want to head out. I could use a jog.
Oh yeah, right. This is the weird part. So you can just go and head out there right now, and despite the fact that you're locked in,
You
Wait
ready
a
to head out?
it always
Got it.
bothered me.